Will I be the a-hole? My autistic brother was enabled his whole life. Do I let him face his own consequences? This one sounds like it might be intriguing. My brother, 19, has autism and is quick to anger. He gets angry if someone uses the wrong word in a sentence and will correct them. A family member said couch and he got angry because it's sofa. I, 21, can understand being autistic myself, even if it's not something I do. He says he knows what's going inside his mind and other people's heads better than we do, and has a quick, no, you're wrong, it's this reflex when anybody ever says anything, even if it's objectively true. If he said something and you repeat it for confirmation, he will still say you're wrong. That's tough. I don't know what flavor of autism that might be. It's like, there's probably, I'm curious because there might be something in his head that like, maybe it's like almost painful. I do wonder because I've had different people kind of try to explain this kind of thing to me. And it's literally something in their brain that it's like an itch or a scratch. It's a burning. It's something to where they can't help it, right? They have to do that. But unfortunately, it sucks that like the socialness of this is like almost taboo because he's constantly correcting people in a way that's semantically like whatever. I could imagine that getting kind of tough. But it's really cool. It sounds like people in your family, like, you know, are very chill about this and take it with a grain of salt. I try to empathize with him and ask him questions to understand him better. It works, but it gets exhausting, especially when he invalidates and tells me he knows my brain better than I do. I'm not sure why he's so quick to react in these ways. That would be a little irritating. Like, again, the know-it-allness, right? Like, you don't. Nobody does. If confronted, he will get extremely angry and yell. My dad insists that everybody just instigates my brother and tells us to leave him alone. And why are you always causing fights? I keep getting blamed and it's making me question reality. Oh, that sucks. He can't help it and then you're being gaslighted by your family. That's ugh. This behavior was left unchecked since he was a kid. He learned saying he's too tired or overwhelmed is a perfectly good way to get out of things because it always worked. If sincere, I'd have no issues. I understand overstimulation and autistic shutdowns, but it's clear he uses it as an excuse to get out of conversations, responsibilities, or consequences. As the sister, I'm sure you have experienced this enough to maybe actually be able to tell, but I feel like that's really hard to say. If they're truly an autistic person that like has these issues, I feel like they need that safety to be able to actually not have a meltdown, right? But how quickly could that get out of hand? You have to wonder. It feels like I'm the only one who cares about him and his future, and I drive him to college daily because driving overwhelms him. I have mentioned therapy since it's free at his school, but he never gets around to doing it. I'm his sibling, not his parent, but no one else can drive him, and if I stop, he will likely fail and flunk out of college. He has said that himself. He already misses classes because he stays up till 4 a.m. and he enjoys quiet. He makes a lot of noise on his VR headset, keeping me up when I have to drive him the next morning if he decides to go. I've brought this up to the family, but everybody says, what can we do? He's an adult, which I understand. I'm losing sleep, and my dad allows my brother to keep getting out of responsibility. His actions, school around the house, everything. I'm scared for his future, since I know my parents will be hands-off, and he might be doomed without anybody's help. I want to just say something real quick. I thought this too about my little brother, who had the social form Asperger's, which they're no longer called. I was really worried about him his entire life because from a very young age he was told that he can't do things, right? That he's just not going to be able to do certain things, and that broke my heart. Because I thought even with his troubles, as long as you worked with him, as long as you tried, and as long as he tried back, that he could do stuff. And he's accomplished so much at a young age, and I'm so proud. We're all so proud. He's the only one in my family with a bachelor's degree or even a college degree. So sometimes you have to just allow them to fail. You have to allow them to grow. You have to allow them to do things on their own. My brother says it's not my fault. I can't control my emotions when I get angry. When he gets mad, I am blamed. My dad tells me if I don't like it, I can live somewhere else. I don't have money and he knows that. I can't drive my brother and work at the same time. I've tried. I care about my family, and clearly this is not good for me or him. We are all adults. I'm at a loss and my mental health is on a decline. My question is, would I be the a-hole if I stopped driving my 19-year-old autistic brother, focused on getting a job in my own life instead, and potentially let him flunk out of college and face the consequences? Yeah, it sounds like right now they have a strong arm over you, especially your brother, saying that like you're the only reason that he's actually able to go to college, all this other stuff. He needs to learn to take the bus. He needs to learn a different mode of transportation, maybe an electric bike. There's a lot of different ways on these modern times to get to where you need to be. And it can't just be at the cost of your life. You're currently 21, and that's the age that you kind of want to go out and be your own person, do your own thing. Even at 18, sometimes you do. You've given him a great service so far and been a great sister. I just don't think you need to continue forever, because this is 2-4 years of college you're going to do this for and just put your entire life on a hold. But I do gotta say, you would be a little bit of the a-hole for actually taking that and thinking it seriously. I don't think he's gonna flunk out of college. I think he should face his consequences, but you should have the feeling in your body, in your mind, in your soul to know that your brother is capable. If he's not capable, then he needs to learn on his own. He needs to figure that out. But give him the tools, right? Show him some other ways. Show him the bus system. Show him an electric scooter, skateboard, a one wheel, anything. All of those are great options, and give him what he needs to accomplish what he can in the future. That was another thing. I never knew if my little brother was going to be able to drive, but he drives just fine. But honestly, for like 3-4 years of college, he took a 3-hour bus to get to LA Film School. He did what he needed to, and there's no reason your brother can't. You are not the a-hole for trying to focus on your own life, but you kind of start to become the a-hole when you assume that your brother is just going to fail. I know it's what he says, and I know you don't really have another reason to think otherwise because of the way he's acted his entire life, but give him the chance, right? Give him the chance to surprise you. Everybody deserves that. And if he doesn't, then like maybe he can go back to school later when he figures it out. Maybe he needs to flunk out. Maybe he needs to hit that rock bottom to understand that the world's not just going to form to his needs, because so far it sounds like it has. But it's also tough for them. You got to remember that their mind works so differently than ours. There's something, I don't want to say wrong, because that's not right? It's not wrong. It's different. Their brains are different and they're functioning different. And our society is built for neurotypical people. Us neurospicy people out there have a really tough time dealing with the modern just climate, because it's just made for people to shut up, be quiet, and become a cog. Don't have opinions. Don't have any of this. Just do what you need to do and go home. And that's just not how most of us want to live our lives anymore. We want agency, and we want to be cared for because we care. Just my opinion. Let's check some comments. One commenter says, not the a-hole. Autism is not an excuse to be an a-hole. I work with people with autism, and my entire nonprofit is to empower people with autism and move them from pre-operational thinking, myself and I, to concrete we, us. And it is possible. People who think like this use it as an excuse for behavior, and that's not okay. I mean, that makes perfect sense. It is learned. It's reinforced over time because they are intelligent. Despite what some people think, they're so freaking intelligent. Enough to manipulate. Enough to do what they can to get their own way. If you let them, you gotta be strong, and you gotta show them that, like, they can do it. They got this. Be on their side. Give them the tools. Just like this person right here has an entire nonprofit dedicated to this. There's tools out there. There's people out there. And your brother just needs to find them. And you need to live your own life and separate from a family who sees you as a problem. Not okay. Not the a-hole. But I'd love to know what y'all think. And if you made it this far, I'd really enjoy you subbing to the channel. A sub really helps us get to that next goal. We're almost at 100, and it would mean the world. Thank you so much.